Sports Gamers Online Stadium in inner Baltimore, Maryland is the site of the third game on the SFL Week 12 block in Season 23. Playoff implications starting to take hold today, and that is the exact case for one of these two teams. The other trying to play spoiler and get another win on the board here as they look to close out their debut campaign. Pittsburgh haven't won since week 4. To try and get another one on the board, they have to get through the team that leads the league in rushing out touchdowns and passing touchdowns. Alongside me this evening to break down this one is none other than my favourite Canadian, Brett Solberg. Brett, welcome to the booth, and what are your keys to this matchup today?
Well, the main thing we have to really focus on is that Pittsburgh is going to play spoiler through the rest of this season, and it's going to start here against this Baltimore team that's trying to creep up on division leaders Canton in this North Division. For Pittsburgh to get in this game, it almost feels like they need to just trust in that pass offense. They're third in the league in that passing offense, but they are facing the 24th ranked passing defense. If they can utilize that, Pittsburgh's got a chance, but right now, all signs point towards Baltimore here. We're hoping for a game. I am excited for this matchup.
They are heavily favoured, but Pittsburgh have been tough at certain points during this season. That kickoff is left a bit short, and the returner is going to get some room here on the outside.
Oh.
David Anderson keeping it going up past the 45, and he will be spotted just beyond it at the 46. So Baltimore in the black tops and white bottoms will start with outstanding field position here, and Pittsburgh will have to play with a shortened field position in the white tops and black bottoms. So inverted uniform combos tonight for these two units. And again, this Baltimore offense has been untouchable. Their only problem has been keeping the ball. Jack Wigmore has amassed 20 turnovers so far this season. And again, as highlighted, 28 total touchdowns, 14 on the ground and 14 through the air. Now start in the air. It's a rollout for Wigmore to the side. That's incomplete. Irvin couldn't quite get clean play at the ball there.
And you're going to see a lot of love to Ivy Irvin. He leads the team with 54 receptions heading into this week, 5th best in the league, as well as a 3rd best 5 touchdown receptions to his name. If Pittsburgh's going to stop this Baltimore passing offense, they need to shore up Ivy Irvin.
The Twins to the bottom here, but they're going to motion a receiver up to the top. It's Mac Chima. So they've got the 2 starters on the field here. Wigmore's going to send it deep. That's caught for a first down there. Early check-in for the star tight end in Benji Matson.
Yeah, and we can't forget that Benji Matson can be a star player as well. We're talking about 120 yards in the losing effort against Carolina last week. He has those flashes of brilliance. He's had two 100-yard performances this season alone. You can't forget about the tight end.
Season as the lead man on this roster, having played for the San Diego Mavericks, a previous 2-time All-Star, 9-time season league veteran. And handoff up the middle. Picks up 7 yards there. Opening carry for GP Wells. This Baltimore offense led out by Jack Wigmore. The backs Warren Murray and GP Wells and T-Roy Gaines. The receivers Ivory Irvin, David Anderson, Daly Holder, Mac Chima, Benji Matson, and Jackson Roberts. The tight end, 6 offensive linemen, which we'll get to after this play. Handoff up the middle. Murray is jammed up, and that will bring down a 3rd and 2. So Charles, Ray Arnold, Olivia and Alden Bleeker, Jay Arnold and Dawn Johnson make up this offensive line unit. And now on a 3rd and short, an opportunity for Pittsburgh to try and get their defense off the field early here and hold Baltimore to just a field goal attempt. Matson's going to be moved across here.
I can see this will run to the left now with that motion.
Good call. And a handoff. There was a flag down, potentially a hold here. Brett Solberg, as a pickup of 9 might be negated.
Yeah, it looks like an illegal block they're going to call. So that's going to be 10 yards back. And that's going to turn 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 17. That's a 15-yard penalty on the clip. So they're going to put it on T-Roy Gaines. And that a little bit of an egregious call, I might say, because it was a little bit of a push from behind. It did impede on Cain Vasquez trying to get the tackle. So now it's going to be an even tougher situation, and more importantly, it's going to push him way out of field goal range.
And to get a completion just to get back into field goal range. That's a huge play and an unnecessary one because Murray already had the first down before the clip. So Wigmore's going to roll that, throws across his body. Irvin was the target, couldn't quite find him, and that's a really good result for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good result, getting no points on Baltimore's opening drive. And credit to Tom Krieg. It was a little bit of a zone coverage, so he had to come in on that deep coverage play to cover on Irvin, who was the intended target, and was just enough just to get him outside of the football.
So Matty Coffins comes out for a punt after it initially looked like the worst case scenario was going to be a targeted field goal attempt, and he has found this one just on the fringe of the 10. Looked like he may have taken it a little bit further back, but still a decent result of the punt. It means Pittsburgh have to go a full 90 yards as we see Michael Brown trot out here. He has taken over this quarterback position here in Pittsburgh over Eric Price. Toss play on the outside. That's going to be a pickup of one there, and we'll introduce this Pittsburgh River Hogs offense. Eric Price and Michael Brown, the two quarterbacks, Mike Churchill and BB Ballett's the backs, Cooper Allen, the fullback, the receivers, Devin Lloyd, Ben Harrison, Connor Weston, the tight end, Keith Wheeler, Rachel Mena, Bruce White, and Taylor Mena make up the offensive line. Brown drops back again, short throw, that's incomplete, heavy traffic surrounding their intended target there, falls to the ground after the tip from Young Bot.
And they know that Pittsburgh's offense is going to target more than likely Connor Weston throughout this game. And it's going to be, we saw the early look there. He's leading the league, 71 receptions, 1,191 yards. Nobody's been able to touch him in terms of yards, but it hasn't turned to results for Pittsburgh.
Straight away, Michael Brown under some pressure. He's going to rush it himself, and the 2-yard pickup is going to stop the drive straight away for Pittsburgh, so they better take no risks there with their back to their own goal line. And they'll have to punt this one away from just inside of the end zone. So Baltimore are going to get it back pretty much as soon as they lost it inside Pittsburgh territory there off the return from Ivory Irvin.
At the end of the day, Baltimore may be losing, 3-4 yards after punting the football away themselves to Pittsburgh on that. So that's a successful defensive drive from Baltimore.
Gives them another opportunity to open up the scoring here on this possession. Twins to the right. Handoff goes to the left, and Warren Murray's got open daylight in front of him. Great block over the tight end, Caesar Ackerman, and it's a really good pickup here inside the 25.
Yeah, and you just saw just a sea of black jerseys leading the way for Wells, and really no issue whatsoever for Wells to get around the defenders as well. And it took Adam Nold, who was basically the last line of defense on the left side, to stop him and push him out of bounds.
Benji Matson led the way there, and it's a really good pickup for Warren Murray. And this ground game has been outstanding so far this season. Short throw from the quarterback there in Wigmore, and Mac Chima was able to reel that one in after a pickup of 9.
And that one was a tough throw from Wigmore. Basically threw it right over the head of Gino McFly to get it to Chima's way, and that's all you can ask for when it's a risky pass like that.
Now on second down and short, so Pittsburgh's defense starting to be pushed back a little bit here after they held firm on the opening drive. Handoff on the outside goes to Warren Murray, who tries to juke around the outside but couldn't do so. And that's going to set Baltimore up with a fresh set of downs. This Pittsburgh defense, Butch Mena and Bubba Bruiser on the line, Gino McFly and Dimitri Monzuna on the outside linebacker spots. The secondary, Cody Griffin, Adam Knoll, and Tom Krieg with Corey Mena and Cain Vasquez. The safeties, Wigmore drops back again, short throw, end zone. That is picked off at his ankles.
Oh no!
Play from Vasquez.
Man, talk about hot potato in the end zone. You had a bevy of white and black jerseys trying to get to the football, and we'll get a closer look on this. It was a great job by the defense to get it out of the hands of Matson And you saw on the replay, Vasquez kind of coming in, seeing if they can try to just reach to the football. Now, the only issue I have with that is that Vasquez stepped outside of the end zone. Now, Pittsburgh starting at the 1. They need to be careful with this first play.
It's a killer. He went from about 100 awareness to 0 there with that play. Handoff though to Churchill, trying to get forward. He did get 2 yards. That's going to move the stripe forward there, despite the presence of Frank Smith trying to shut him down. But at the very minimum here, Pittsburgh have once again avoided being scored against. But this is a very difficult job here at the hands of Michael Brown. The handoff up the middle is going to go to the back there, and it looked like Ben Harrison checking in for a rush, and he's only able to get a yard. So they've had a few rushing plays thus far, and Baltimore have really been keyed in on it thus far. And now another 3rd down and long for Michael Brown. Got to be careful you don't turn the ball over here or get caught in your own end zone. They're just going to rush the football. And up the middle, BB Churchill all the way up past the 25. What a play call from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and you see the run, you're thinking to yourself, why are they calling run on 3rd and 7? But it's basically just a misdirection for Baltimore with the full receiver set, especially when you have a dangerous weapon like Weston. So Churchill finds a way to break through the first level, and it is wide open field for Weston to run. Great work by the Pittsburgh coaching staff.
Gino McFly catches him off guard there and gets a fresh set of downs off the legs of Mike Churchill. So Michael Brown's going to go to the air here on this 2nd down, on this fresh set of downs, and he'll pick up 4 with his legs. The 2nd time Brown's abandoned the pass and gone to the ground with his legs, and just keeps this Baltimore defense honest. So the biggest play of the game so far has gone Pittsburgh's way. And an offset eye to the left. They're going to go again to Churchill, and he will pick up 5.5 and leave him just a half yard shy of 1st down yardage.
It's been a struggle so far for Michael Brown to get that football off. He's only thrown the once so far, and it's resulted in an incompletion. But that pocket is collapsing so quickly that he's being forced to, drop out and try to scramble for yards.
It's a good situation to have BB Bullets in the backfield, and he will pick up the 1st down, just barely getting the frame over the 1st down marker. But he is an excellent short yardage back, 6'4", 240. Needed all of that to get that ball over the stripe there for that 3rd down conversion. Now Brown back to the air. This time he's got a bit more time to throw, and heaves it downfield. Caught by Keith Wheeler for a 1st down.
Yeah, not a lot of love to the tight ends this season from Pittsburgh's side, but Wheeler, this time finally getting himself open. Just a straight go route for him, trying to get open and, freezing his way past 2 linebackers, just open enough for Brown to sling that rock and get the 1st down. And how about this? Pittsburgh in enemy territory.
They're on the move here, the River Hogs. Hand off to the outside. Churchill got past the first line of defense there and picks up a couple of yards, and we'll introduce the Baltimore defense. Robert Brady, Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, and Nate Brown on the line. Frank Smith and Alvin Mack, the linebackers, the secondary. Ben Stackenpaper, Elijah Warfield, Roy Towers, Sullivan Tyson, Young Bott, Giovanni Bolt, and John Patrick Levine. Outside, BB Bullets, open space, pushing Alvin Mack backwards, and he's inside the 20.
Man, this is an early fight from this young Pittsburgh Riverhawks squad, and it was a great play call. We haven't seen much of the toss from these play sets through these first 2 drives from Pittsburgh, so they toss it out to Blitz. Had some decent blocking, but more importantly, loads of space on the right side to move down the field.
At the moment, they're just responding to what they're seeing. The first 3 runs went for 2 yards or less, and since then they have blown up this Baltimore rushing defense and are now in the red zone. It's the first time either offense has been in the red zone. Churchill nearly broke that. Boy, did Cooper Allen provide a block there that nearly presented an opportunity for Churchill to run that all the way in, but it stopped after just a gain of 4.
It's crazy to see this run game be so effective for Pittsburgh early on, considering that we're talking about the 7th best rushing defense of the Baltimore Vultures at just 92 yards a game.
Brown's going to throw. He's
Wow.
in end zone. That is caught for a touchdown. Beautiful throw from Michael Brown. And Ben Harrison gets a touchdown on the board.
Man, you can see the composure coming in from young Michael Brown, now taking in the reins as the starter for this team. And you'd think that it would be Connor Weston to start off the Pittsburgh explosion, but it's been mostly Mike Churchill to get them into the position. And just like you said, Jacob, a beautiful pass from Michael Brown to a wide open Ben Harrison on the right side. Pittsburgh striking first at SGO.
We're now at upset watch already here. The River Hogs get the opening score, a 98-yard drive. Brett, they started it at the 2, and we were talking about how that turnover was pretty much negated after Cain Vasquez returned it outside of the red zone, end zone, and then into the field of play. And Pittsburgh's offense said, no problem, we're going to drive this downfield nonetheless. And that's a really good reply from the River Hogs. Another return here. Anderson broke the first one. The kickoff was left short once more, so there's clearly a breeze affecting the kicker here for Pittsburgh early. And it's good field position again for the Vultures.
Yeah, from that drive, 64 yards on the run from Pittsburgh. They just a masterclass of run game. When we thought they were getting their early struggles, they found something and kind of broke the Baltimore defense a little bit. But now it's time for Wigmore and company, that veteran offense that we know and love about them, to respond in kind, perhaps.
All kept alive because of that 20-yard rush from Mike Churchill on third down. That throw is caught by Chima, and he's up over the 40, so that's a straight reply from the Vultures.
Yeah, it was just a quick look to Chima as well. You have to remember, he's got that blazing speed that we know him about, that slippery, like a piece of mac and cheese coming through, and that's just tough one-on-one coverage. Gets in front of his defender with a little shimmy move to gain a couple extra yards, and just one play can really change the tide of the game, just like that one.
27-yard pickup gets the Vultures up over halfway already on the very first play. Hand off now to GP Wells, trying to get forward progress. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that's really what needs to be keyed in on here for Pittsburgh. This rushing attack from Baltimore between Warren Murray and GP Wells. It's going to be where they get their easy yardage in this contest, and I want to try and force Wigmore to throw his way out of danger. Handoff now to Warren Murray. That's going to pick up 4.5. He's probably unlucky there not to get the first down.
Yeah, that one is really close, but they're getting that quarter with still some momentum here.
Pittsburgh with a shock lead here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium, 7-0. Aerial coverage of today's game brought to you by Dag's Droneworks. Back here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Aerial photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Make sure you learn more at dagsdroneworks.com. Hand off on the outside. GP Wells gets some forward progress and then some. Broke it inside the 15. GP Wells broke about 15 tackles on that run and gets Baltimore inside the red zone.
Yeah, precisely so. And you'll see here, he broke through that first line of defense, and you can see the swarming Pittsburgh defense trying to get to Wells, but he still manages to just eke his way through, push his way forward, and basically continue this drive for Baltimore.
16-yard pickup for Wells. And they're 14 yards away from scoring range now. Hand off at the middle. That's going to be a 3-yard pickup for Warren Murray.
And then the big key here is that Baltimore needs to continue utilizing that two-headed beast of Murray and Wells, because that's really the catalyst for Baltimore's offense, because Carolina shut them down last week and forced them to pass that football, and that's what resulted in a big gain for Carolina.
Wigmore, he's at end zone. That's incomplete. Benji Matson, third target already. Couldn't reel that one in. And now Baltimore have got a third down to try and match the scoreline.
Yeah, and the big key for Pittsburgh is that they have to find that magic in the bottle. Like last drive that forced the turnover for Kane Vasquez. And right now, their goal line defense, or at least passes to the end zone, have been pretty good so far. They can't let up on this 3rd and 7.
So Wigmore's got a bunch to his left here. Single receiver up the top is Ivory Irvin. Wigmore rushes to the side. They were trying to pass rush there. And a beautiful throw finds Ivory Irvin in the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown.
Yeah, and that one is just unlucky for Corey Menner because he was in the right spot, but just maybe too little too late to get in front of Ivory Irvin because that slant route was just wide open. He was right with him, just couldn't get it. But again, you talk about receivers that need to get his touches. It's Ivory Irvin. That's number 6 now on the season for his touchdown marker.
So Baltimore replies straight away, and now Shark Tarkington can knock through the extra point here, and that levels the score at 7 apiece. The SFL convention is headed right here to Baltimore for the 2025 convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to 14th. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of the host hotel, the Hyatt Regency, looking out into Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and revel in the league's first convention on the East Coast. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. That is simfl.net. As you see that kickoff there, that breeze very much a factor at the moment. That one nowhere near being returnable. So Pittsburgh will take over at the 20. They went on a 98-yard scoring drive on the previous possession. They don't have to quite go that far on this occasion, but they'll be trying to keep that momentum on the ground they had through the two-headed monster in Mike Churchill and BB Bullets. But it's going to be Brown to the air, throws to the backfield. We've seen Harrison in the backfield once before. That's going to be a catch and a rush for 11 yards and a first down on the first play.
A nice little wrinkle on the offense as well to get a swing pass option for Ben Harrison too, because he's going to have that strength to push past defenders and get those first downs when necessary, and that's a good starting sign. Pittsburgh cannot let up against this Baltimore team after they score.
Set eye here for Brown. Will throw again. That's caught downfield. First target of the day for the electric Devin Lloyd, and they're up over halfway.
Yeah, and I talked about this early on. They can't just trust on Connor Weston. Yes, he does have the majority of receptions, but if you can get all of your receivers involved, that does include Harrison, that does include Lloyd, it gives you a better chance to get open looks. And Lloyd does a great job in getting himself open in this play, just like how the Baltimore receivers do it, in front of the defenders.
Brown again, throw, that's deep, that's the first look for Keith Wheeler again. So Connor Weston hasn't even been targeted yet by Michael Brown. And again, as you mentioned, if Baltimore are going to key in on him defensively, opens up opportunities for the other weapons inside of this receiving core. And again, remember, Devin Lloyd can be capable of anything in a game like this where he's got some space to work the matchups. So Brown will go to the air again. They haven't rushed it yet on this drive. He's going to roll out. Michael Brown's going the wrong way, and he's going to lose a whole 8 yards here. That is disappointing. He should have thrown that one away. But Ralph Leopold is going to chase him all the way back, about 8 or 9 yards for a sack.
That's a classic case of the quarterback's nerves getting to him, because he had the space to look around, but then he saw one defender coming just a little bit too close for comfort for him, and he just, gets impatient and turns the wrong way, and that's what results in that big sack.
So he's going to have to try and throw this one, but it's going to be tipped away and incomplete. Even if caught, wouldn't have been enough for the first down, as Alvin Mack gets the tip, and Robert Brady on that previous sack there as well. 2 Baltimore linemen chased him all the way back there. Michael Brown, that's a play he'll want back, and Pittsburgh will be forced to punt this one away. No pressure on the punter. Sails inside the 20. So again, Pittsburgh now have the breeze in their favor, and Baltimore will start this drive from their own 23. We say thank you to the stats truck today, Justin Reside and Dakota Butts on stats with us today, and we say hello to the likes of Corey Mena, Devin Lloyd, Guy Clausen, Keith Wheeler, and Gino McFly in the chat. Not a lot of Baltimore representation in the chat today. We've got some Baltimore players watching the game. This is an important game for their season. They're at 6-3. Would love to get to a 7-win record, and they've got the ball back here at their own 23. Hand off to the outside. Warren Murray trying to get forward. He's tackled by Corey Mena after a gain of 3.
And Pittsburgh just needs to apply the pressure on these running backs, and it's not going to be first efforts. It's going to be second, third, and fourth efforts to take them down. Those are two stout, strong running backs that won't get stopped on the first hit. You need to get a couple here. So it's going to be big for those linebackers and those safeties to get involved.
Wigmore, the short throw, that's caught. Another tough spot there is spotted Matt Chima short of the first down marker. But again, these backs are very hard to stop early on in their carries here. And Warren Murray only needs about 0.1 of a yard here to get this first ever.
That's practically there.
They could not have spotted him any closer. Oh. Murray is dumped behind the line of scrimmage. They should have challenged it. Monzuma dumps him behind the line.
No, that's Vasquez again with the big hit coming from the safety side. Man, what a burst of speed to go in, and Pittsburgh stops Baltimore. They got a chance to retake this lead.
Wow, what a turning point that is. As Kane Vasquez gets a tackle for loss on a third down and short that Warren Murray was for sure going to convert. And Pittsburgh's going to take this over again from their own 27. So the River Hogs just got to correct some minor problems from that last drive. Like potentially unlock another scoring drive like they did on their second possession.
And again, talk about that magic in a bottle. See if they can get Churchill on an open run again. He worked a couple times for them on that drive that got them 98 yards to the end zone. See if he can get involved, get Ben Harrison involved. He's in that split back formation. You can see with Cooper Allen on this split back formation. They're going to motion the receiver.
That's the thing, they didn't rush it once on that last possession. It was all pass from Michael Brown. And it will be the same thing again here, but this time he uses the backs, and it's going to be another pitch to the outside to Ben Harrison. So I'm liking the utilization of Harrison today. He's got a touchdown on the board, and now that's his third catch.
Yeah, a good open look, too. Again, swing passes, using a wide receiver in a split back formation. I think very smart in that Pittsburgh coaching staff. Really just adding a wrinkle to that offense that, you can try anything when you're 1-8.
Toss play outside. That's going to be a pitch to Mike Churchill. Picks up a couple. And Brett, let's check in on your Vancouver Legion on the other side of this block with Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Jacob. And look who it is. Early in the third quarter, 7-6, Vancouver trailing. Brett Killian with the catch and the score. Vancouver leads Minnesota 13-7 in the third. Back to Ben Harrison, the River Hogs, and everyone else in Baltimore.
That pitch to the outside is shut down immediately by Elijah Warfield. But boy, Brett, you could do anything. You can call a game on one side in Baltimore, and you can go and score a touchdown in Minnesota. There you go. It's everywhere tonight.
It's a good thing nobody sees me in the booth. We don't have a live cam because my pits are sweating after that.
Oh, man. I don't want to know any more about that. Thank you very much. Michael Brown drops back. He's got pressure in his face. Got rid of it and caught by Devin Lloyd. Boy, is he going to get some work tonight. The way that this Baltimore defense is playing, they cannot leave him open. And he's got another first down reception here.
Man, talk about a difference of 2 plays. We saw Michael Brown get nervous when the pressure got to him, but on this play, the nerve stayed steady, and he still threw the ball with the defender inches, basically breathing on his neck. Great work from Michael Brown to get that ball off.
Now in the gun, Michael Brown's feeling it here. Rushes out. In fact, it's Eric Price in the shotgun there. He was looking for Ben Harrison there on the... So I haven't completely abandoned their general manager and co-quarterback here in Eric Price, but he is certainly being phased out almost entirely in favor of Michael Brown, but he will still get some pass attempts here. That's his first of the afternoon, but it's Brown who will be back in the fold here. Baltimore play it nice and close. Toss play to the outside. They were expecting that. Churchill is going to get nailed. He beat the first one, but still got 3 yards and makes this one a 3rd down and 7.
And 7 for them is much more manageable than a 3rd and 10, because you can still kind of have that misdirect play. They're going to put blitz on the backfield on this play, so this might screen pass. And I'm looking at Weston on that slot side on the right.
Brown rolls out. Pressure got there again and caught. That's the same play they hit them with earlier. Devin Lloyd with another catch across the middle, and it's a 1st down pick up for the River Hogs.
And that was all started by that crossing route that involved Weston. Baltimore is still concerned about limiting Connor Weston's targets, but it's leaving guys like Devin Lloyd open. 2nd reception of the game, and it was a good look to get the 1st down.
Oh, the fresh set of downs. They're 28 yards away from scoring. Brown's going to throw it again. Caught short field there. And it's only going to be a pickup of 1. Shut down immediately by Alvin Mack.
And just a short... They want to change the levels of Baltimore's eye set. This one was a short pass this time. Just a short cross. They got it to Lloyd again. It only got a yard.
It's Lloyd's 3rd catch of the game. So he's matched Ben Harrison's 3. And Keith Wheeler has 1. So it's the top target that's been excluded thus far by Michael Brown. Brown throws, that's caught, short field, and guess who? Connor Weston checks in on that one for a 1st down.
Yeah, and we talk about these young receivers being open options, but if you need a tough catch, you go into that breadbasket of Connor Weston. Had a defender behind him, a defender in front of him, and another defender about 3 yards away from him. That is just marquee football from Connor Weston.
That was in front of Geo Bolt. No less. Brown again. Caught Lloyd. Got the push. Devin Lloyd over the end zone stripe, and he is once again silenced. Sports Gamers Online Stadium.
This is crazy. I was not expecting 6 feet and 185 pounds to just push and bully his way to the end zone after the catch. First off, another great throw from Michael Brown between the linebacker and the safety to get it to him. And then it was just pure, raw determination from Lloyd to get to the end zone. This River Hogs team is young, fiery, and red hot right now.
Gino McFly has brought the fire today from the sideline, and that's a really good scoring drive from Pittsburgh. Another long one that spanned not quite the way that the first one did, but enough so. They're starting to put some pressure on this Baltimore unit. It just hasn't quite been at the races here in this one. Classic trap game scenario here for Baltimore. Anderson trying to get something going on the return. He gets it up over the 30 to the 32, and that's where Baltimore will start this possession.
You know, when I was talking with Eddie Gage on the Streets for Talking earlier this week, we went with our pick'ems, and he said, how much is Baltimore going to win by? We didn't even think Pittsburgh would have a chance. Well, this Pittsburgh coaching staff took that personally, a la Michael Jordan, and have really put the fire under their butts and really have given Baltimore a fair game here through this first half.
Now, out of a heavy set, there's going to be a throw from Wigmore trying to find the tight end there, and Benji Matson downfield couldn't get that one in the right space. And again, that was to highlight what I said off air before this game kicked off. If Pittsburgh could grab some of the positives that they had towards the end of that route against Albuquerque last week, they were a very, very quiet chance today, and they've done exactly that thus far. And Wigmore now trying to test this defense. Irvin's got a short throw and got the run after catch. He's picked up about 10 after he caught the ball. That's a play that they very desperately needed.
Yeah, and it's not a play that we usually see from Ivy Irvin. He's usually, you know, their deep corner threat, and he has been entire career, but he crosses inside and has enough space to just shimmy shake, move around defenders, and get the first down.
It's just the second catch of the game for Baltimore's top target here. And Wigmore will not get this playoff before the 2-minute warning. So Baltimore with a fresh set of downs in 2 minutes to try and equal this score once again. Safe to say these Baltimore fans did not expect to find their unit behind at any point today. But they are currently a score back. And keeping in mind that Pittsburgh will have the opening second half kickoff as well. Not scoring here could be a huge turning point in the game. Delayed handoff up the middle. No, not GP Wells. It's T-Roy Gaines. His first carry of the game picks up 4 yards.
And one of the things that I wasn't expecting to see this season was the downswing of carries from T-Roy Gaines. Just 24 carries coming into this matchup. He's definitely been more of that goal line threat. He still has 2 rushing touchdowns, but he definitely isn't part of that rushing offense this season.
Swallowed up there was GP Wells by a good Pittsburgh rush there led by Dimitri Monzuma. And now with a 3rd down, along came Vasquez involved as well. He's been huge with that 1 turnover. And he also had that crucial 3rd down and inches stop on one of the previous Baltimore drives. Wigmore drops back. Pressure was brought from Pittsburgh. And Holder is not going to get the 1st down here. That is a really good result for Pittsburgh once again. And inside a minute, they're going to get the football back and they can trot this into halftime with the lead.
Yeah, that was a play designed for Baltimore to get a 20-yard deep pass to one of their main receivers, Chima or Irvin. And Pittsburgh did a great job plugging the deep field, so Wigmore was forced to throw short.
And they did that, and they brought pressure as well to try and get to Wigmore, and still covered the deep routes with relative success. So great defensive play calling there from the River Hogs, and Coffins is going to punt this one away. It'll bounce just at the 6 and takes an awkward one. It'll sail into the end zone. So with 25 seconds left, Pittsburgh are just going to run this one into the half.
Yeah, and if I'm Pittsburgh, I would run this into the half because you've got yourself, I would say for the majority of the league, a surprising first half lead. And you've really taken it to them just from 2 drives alone and have dictated the pace of the game. That's what you want against a tough Baltimore team in one of the toughest stadiums in the SFL.
Brown is going to throw here on a 1st down. They want it. And Devin Lloyd is going to catch it. In fact, it's Weston for the 2nd time today. And that's going to be the play that sees Pittsburgh into halftime.
Yeah, and it's just something to tell Baltimore. It's like, you know what? We could run this clock down, but right now Michael Brown is red hot. Keep him steady throughout this, and we'll talk about the red hot play of Michael Brown in the first half once we get to the halftime report.
I did get that playoff before the clock expired there. It's a 2-yard pickup for Mike Churchill. So Pittsburgh will get the opening second half kickoff, but they have a shock 14-7 lead here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. They lead the 6-3 Vultures 14-7. Brett Solberg, your halftime takeaways.
So if you would have told me before the game which one of these quarterbacks would have a 144.9 QBR heading into this second half, I would have never said in my life Michael Brown would have. But he has been red hot, and he's been the catalyst to Pittsburgh's 2 scores through this first half. 12 of 15, 139 and 2 touchdowns. The run game has done well to misdirect the pass offense, and now this pass offense has led in kind. 202 first half yards from Pittsburgh's offense has led this way. And the defense has done just enough to stymie Baltimore enough to force them into punting scenarios. 3 crucial punts in the first half.
Before we go back to the action here, let's take a quick halftime break presented by Brace GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, and photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on the Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on the site. And we are back here at Sports Gamers Online Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland here. As Pittsburgh will have the opening possession, they lead the stats as well in every column. A real turn of events here. Michael Brown got pressured, managed to get that one away, and it was almost reeled in on the outside by Keith Wheeler. But just falls harmlessly incomplete.
And it was a really good look too, but it was just off of a good hit from young Vaught to push that football away from the young upstart tight end in Wheeler and force that to an incompletion.
2nd down and 10 now, and off on the misdirection to Mike Churchill. He'll pick up 5, and that will give Pittsburgh short yardage here to try and keep this drive on the road.
Yeah, we're talking about those third downs. Pittsburgh doing their job on third down scenarios. 3 of 5 in the first half. They need to continue with that efficiency if they want to sustain and keep the lead.
Spread receivers. Brown drops back, got pressured, and throws that one into double coverage and is tipped away by Elijah Warfield. So that's the matchup to watch in the second half. Warfield, thus far, has blanketed Connor Weston, but he's since had 3 targets and 2 catches, but that one, the first incompletion thrown his way. And Pittsburgh will start this one with a punt on their opening drive. It's not the way that they wanted to exit the halftime break here. It's going to be fielded by Irvin at the 35 and returned up to the 39.
And the big key for Baltimore is just really turn things around. What's also been surprising from Pittsburgh's defense is forcing the league best third down conversion team to just 2 of 7 in the first half. Pittsburgh wants to continue to stymie Baltimore. It's those third down opportunities. If Baltimore wants to get back in this, they've got to convert.
Twins up to the left here as Wigmore drops back. Pressure got to the backfield there, but he swung it outside, and Warren Murray has open daylight in front of him and accelerates up over Pittsburgh's 40-yard line.
And the SFL is not known for those screen passes. A lot of the time, it leads to really unsuccessful plays, more so losses of yardage. But when you have 2 dynamic receivers like Chima and Irvin on the left side, you are so weary of them breaking open deep down the field that you got to go with these screen plays. And this worked to perfection.
Roy Gaines back in the backfield here after that huge gain. Another pressure. This time it got home, and Wigmore's throw was errant in the end, and it brings up a 2nd down and 10 there. So Pittsburgh have been bringing pressure around the outside over the last few plays, and that one, the first time that it's really worked for them. And Wigmore now with 3 receivers spread out here. Again, pressure showing on that right-hand side. Wigmore drops back again. The back run routes. That's caught by Gaines, and he gets 9.5. Again, unlucky not to get the first down.
Yeah, this one is probably the most challengeable for T. Roy Gaines and Thomas Paternetti, but they're not going to call it. I think they're staying confident with this offense to push things forward. But we've seen this 3rd and inches scenario before. Are they going to put Vasquez forward on a run support here?
Once before, Murray gets it to the outside, and that's going to be a 1st down rush there. So that time they got the forward progress required despite the pressure from Adam Nold pushing on the outside. And just on the fringe of the red zone here, Baltimore with a good early opportunity to try and match the scoreline. 23 yards away from a major score. That screen pass again. Warren Murray this time is wrapped up by Gino McFly after a gain of 2.
Yeah, and the linebackers just need to be wary of those swing passes now. They see the screen pass worked, and Baltimore might try to utilize that a little bit more so that they can get guys like Irvin and Shima open on those money plays, especially in what I like to call basically the big spot for Baltimore to get to the touchdown.
Wigmore rolls out, pressure there again. Oh, almost picked off there at the back of the end zone. That was a risky play there, and luckily for the Vultures, it falls harmlessly incomplete, but Cody Griffin had a play on the ball there in his one-on-one coverage with Benji Matson, and now on a 3rd down and long, can Pittsburgh get another hole here and keep the lead intact? Pressure on the outside shown again from Nold. He got to Wigmore, and that's going to be thrown over the back of the defense. Great play from Adam Nold.
Yeah, it's a supreme play from one of the veteran defenders on this Pittsburgh's defense to basically give Wigmore no time to throw that rock, because there was a lot of pressure coming from all sides, really, and Nold got through, and now we're going to see a field goal from Tarkington.
He timed that absolutely perfectly as well, and Tarkington will knock over the 3-pointer there, so it's a 4-point ball game. Pittsburgh keep their lead intact here. So now Pittsburgh about to get possession back. Not much time taken off the 3rd quarter clock with just 2 possessions already in the book. Granted, Pittsburgh had the ball for 30 seconds before they sent it back. This kickoff is returned by Devin Lloyd up past the 25. Broke a couple. Devin Lloyd up past the 30, and he stiff arms another Baltimore defender into the ground after a 35-yard return. Yeah, that's the way you start off a drive.
Yeah, and it's not just the Pittsburgh offense that's starting to really work and really push momentum their side. Now the special teams is getting involved, and we talked about that dynamic ability from Devin Lloyd, and he's shown it in the receiving game, and now he's showing it in the special teams game.
Might be a little bit of a boost here. This is the best field position that Pittsburgh have had thus far today. Now Brown drops back, short throw. That's caught for a 1st down straight away. Finds Connor Weston, who again was silenced for about 17 minutes of general play, and now he's really firmly in the matchup.
Yeah, and they're really firmly finding the soft spots in Baltimore's defense. That is a perfect throw in between the corner and the safety to get to Connor Weston. They're finding their spots against probably one of the toughest renowned defenses in the league.
So now 4 wide, they're already up over halfway here, Pittsburgh. Throw caught, beautiful grab. Connor Weston is starting to really clock into this game. He has these absurd stat lines, Brett. 12 catches, 170 plus yards. It just seems like a normal effort for him. For him to be quiet in that opening term was certainly a surprise, but Baltimore realized they can't leave the likes of Ben Harrison and Devin Lloyd open, and so they've sort of lessened the pressure on Weston, and he is starting to really unravel here in this matchup. Another throw from Brown, backfield. That's been the play that's really worked efficiently for them, and Ben Harrison picks up another 7 yards.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You keep going to Harrison if he's in that backfield on the swing pass. I love that play from Pittsburgh. It's making Baltimore guess where that ball's going to go, because like you said, they can't go to Weston every time, and it's getting other guys open, and now that they're blanketing the other receivers, Weston's getting open. It's giving Baltimore a tough time in this game.
Real motion to cross. So a 2nd down and short situation here. A 1st down would be really nice, and Churchill's got it, and he will spin out of the tackle there after a pickup of 5.
Yeah, and that's what you need. This run game wasn't really seen in the 2nd quarter, just 7 total yards. It was mainly the Michael Brown show under center, and why not keep it to him? But sometimes you need those runs for 1st downs. Great work from Churchill.
Brown again, pump fake. This time he's gone. They were going to get that pressure there eventually, and Michael Brown's going to lose 5 yards. The 3rd sack he has taken today.
And you can tell that Brown wanted to get that swing pass to Blitz, but he decided to keep on it, fake the throw, and it just didn't pay off because that pocket collapsed. And like you said, third sack of the game, and now Brown has to be very weary on 2nd and 15 not to get an errant throw deep down the field. Just chip away. You've got 2 plays.
It's a 4 wide down in the second half. 15. They've run up once on this possession, and then they're going to try and throw their way out of danger once again. Brown drops back. Pressure around the edge was there again, and it falls harmlessly incomplete. Looked like Alvin Mack may have had a play on the ball there.
Yeah, and again, you see the bunch of players, both offense and defense. Once that ball is up in the air on a deflection, you see the hustle of these players trying to get that football. Pittsburgh is definitely hungry to get that first down on this play here.
Quads formation again. Brown throws. Weston hands it. Boy, was that pretty for Connor Weston, and that's your Retroid Nice Hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K23.
When your back is against the wall, 3rd and 15, who do you go to? You go to old Trusty, and Connor Weston is that man. What a throw, what a catch, what a first down.
Oh, man. Michael Brown, he's going to rush it himself and did the slide, so that's a smart play from Michael Brown. Gives them an extra 4.5 there on that carry, and boy, is he a brilliant receiver. I wish I could learn the tricks of the trade and somehow get Gino McFly back in my building to try and work out how my receivers involved the way that he gets Connor Weston involved. Michael Brown just looks for him first on every single play. Hand off to the outside this time for Churchill. He's jammed up by this Baltimore defense. They're going to be a tough unit to get through here on this 3rd down and short.
And the big goal for Pittsburgh, maybe not run this on 3rd down. They are at the 3-yard line, but runs up the middle have not worked. And when it comes to getting this close to the end zone, the tosses don't work either. This might be a perfect play to do one-on-one. I'm looking at Warfield versus Weston on this play.
Great matchup to highlight. Brown will throw. He's gone. Tackled at the 10 there, and Al Walker gets home for the first time today.
And that's tough because you can tell he's just going off of his drop back, and there's just no time for him to throw that football. And that's got to be tough if you're Michael Brown. You've got to tell your lineman just to secure like an extra second or 2 at time so he can get his receivers open.
9-season veteran, 3-time All-Star, gets the 4th sack on the board for this Baltimore defense. So Baltimore avoids getting brought back by 2 scores. That was on the cards of possibilities there for Baltimore to go down by 2 scores in this matchup, but they avoid that outcome, and instead Pittsburgh negates the Shark Tarkenton field goal from the previous possession. And we've got 13 minutes left in this game. Pittsburgh still leads it, but Baltimore are going to get possession back here to try and tie the ball game up again. David Anderson is dangerous from these situations. Spun out of a couple there. And that's almost certainly going to be a face mask. I'll be in complete agreement.
Calling it incidental.
And this is going to, it's going to move Baltimore forward at a touch.
But even then, still the 40-yard line to start things off is still very favorable position for Baltimore. They just need to really complete things, just like they did on their 3rd drive that got the touchdown pass to Irvin. They just need to mix that run and pass to move forward.
But Wigmore was pressured, got it there though. It's caught for a gain of 7 there by Jackson, the tight end, his first catch of the game.
Yeah, a little bit surprising. That almost looked like it was heading Irvin's way, and it seemed like Jackson Roberts said, you know what? I've only got myself 2 catches on the board. Let me get myself a reception this season, or in this game, to up that count.
And up the middle, Wells.
Yeah.
And Murray is jammed up, and in fact, he loses a couple of yards there. Gino McFly starting to announce his authority in this matchup. And now it's 5 yards to go, so they can't rush it this time. On 3rd down, they're going to go to the air, you would imagine. Pittsburgh going to play nice and close here and drop a couple of their safeties. Wigmore's going to drop back. That's caught. Open. Great play from Daly Holder. Caught it in the field of play, and Baltimore's now got this in the opposing 30-yard line.
And this is a play from Pittsburgh that pushed Adam Nold into blitzing and it forced Kane Vasquez to be the coverage man on Holder. He sticks back a little bit too far, and it's wide open look for Holder and an easy first down for Baltimore.
It got them a third down stop last possession for Baltimore, but not this time. And now with a fresh set of downs, Wigmore's going to throw, caught by Benji Matson for a gain of 12, and that's going to put Baltimore in the red zone.
Yeah, that's a big gain. They're going to say second and inches, probably because the knee down.
Yeah.
And it's been very... It's interesting, Jacob. We're in SGO, and Baltimore's probably had the most unfavorable spotting of the football today.
I thought he for sure had that first down, and yeah, you're absolutely right. They spotted him short again. Baltimore's had 4 or 5 of those today, and they haven't challenged a single one. That time, though, Warren Murray gets the first down, so there's no stress on Baltimore's part. They can maintain their timeouts here. And 16-odd yards now away from scoring.
Very interesting. Baltimore only running the football 13 times so far in this game. Now this is number 14.
It's a run for Wells on the outside. It's going to pick up 5 there out of the ace. So both tight ends there on blocking assignments. And now they're just shy of the 10-yard stripe. I'll bring out another heavy set here with Warren Murray in the backfield behind T-Roy Gaines. It'll be a handoff to Murray. He got past the first wave, but not the second. Great read again. That time it's Tom Krieg. First time we've called his name tonight. Only a 2-yard pickup for Warren Murray. And a third down and short upcoming.
You have to give Pittsburgh credit. They're giving Baltimore's run game a very tough time. Those are tough runs for Murray and Wells tonight.
Joker's formation here. Wigmore's got to throw this. It's incomplete at the ankles of Ivory Irvin. And as the third quarter clock expires, we'll come back in the fourth with Shaka Tarkington to drag this one within 4 points.
Of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Thank you, Curtis. And now Tarkington to bring this one within 4. We're in for a grandstand finish here in the fourth quarter at Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore. Pittsburgh have led this one, Brett, basically since the game was tied at 0 apiece. That 98-yard drive was where Pittsburgh first took the lead, and they've held it since. This kickoff return from inside the end zone here from Devin Lloyd, past the 22 to 24. That's where he is dropped. If you like what we're doing right now, your time is now to get your voice on the call. We are looking for passionate SFL participants to join our broadcast team for the continuation of SFLM Season 9, kicking off next month. Please visit simfl.net/broadcasting for more details on how you can get involved and be one of the biggest difference makers in the future of the SFL action. Now with 2 wide here. Michael Brown drops back. Throws. That's through a pair of Baltimore hands. It was looking for Weston again. He telegraphed that one a little bit, and Frank Smith nearly had a game-changing pick.
Yeah, that one's very tough. Michael Brown wanting to, sling that rock, laser beam it past. But that's one of the downsides when you're throwing a bullet pass, is that it gives the chance the linebackers get their hands on the football, and it was a great deflection from Alvin Mack.
Alvin had a turnover tonight thus far, so that's keeping things within the theme. Cooper Allen motioned as the tight end here. That's going to be a carry for Mike Churchill, who has not had the love he had on that second drive we mentioned that went nearly the entire length of the field. They just haven't unlocked the running game since. It's been all Michael Brown and his receivers. And then more of that here on this third down and long. Brown drops back. Play got around the outside, and another one that probably could have been taken away there by a young Vought. but it's still a quick 3 and out for this Baltimore defense.
Yeah, and you can tell now they're starting to rely on Weston a little bit more, especially on these third downs. So Baltimore's kind of keying in on him. They had it wasn't Warfield this time. I think it was Towers on him on this coverage, and then Young Vaught being a shadow, and that's where the deflection came in.
So Pittsburgh trying to get this one as far away as they possibly can, and it's not a bad result. As Ivory over, Beck catches that 37 yards away from his own goal line. We think again, Justin Reside and Dakota Butzel to win Schindler for their contributions this evening on stats. Cameron Irvine back, and SFL HQ producing it for us, and everyone in the chat engaging with the game today. We appreciate you watching our game tonight here in Baltimore. That throw from Wigmore is caught past the first down marker by Mac Chima, and that gets Baltimore on the move early.
Yeah, and this is what Baltimore is known. They have that fourth quarter resolve from every player, and it starts with Jack Wigmore just slinging the rock, and they do that immediately. First down, find Chima, move the chains, and now they want to dictate the pace of the game. This is Baltimore football that they want to establish.
Free wide here. Wigmore handoff to the backfield. He's caught behind a blocker. He's got to try and get forward, but a huge hit there from Cody Griffin stops him, and they're going to come back. There might be a little bit of justice there because it didn't look like the running back got back to the line of scrimmage, but they're going to say he did.
Yeah, they're not going to complain about that. They basically maybe lose a quarter of a yard instead of what was probably a 2-yard loss on the play.
Wigmore drops back, straight back to it, fires it to the slant route there with Ivory Irvin, and it's a 12-yard pickup on first down.
And that's Baltimore's bread and butter, the quick passes. Once they can get those slant options open, Pittsburgh's defense was far from ready on that. They were way too far back, those corners, and it forced wide open looks. He could have passed to the other side to Chima and probably would have gotten the same result, but give Irvin some love too.
It's an interesting stat there over at Jack Wigmore has not fired at left once today. Wigmore now on a first down. Great blocking up front. Great block by Jackson Roberts, but Warren Murray couldn't quite take advantage of it, but it's still an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, and aside from, breaking open for those early plays in the first quarter, the run game has been very, very quiet, and that's probably been the biggest gain of the second half from Warren Murray.
Now, on a 2nd and 2, Urban motioned out. Heavy set here, run from GP Wells. Got 4 progress. Krieg at the chase him down. It's a 7-yard pickup for Wells, and Baltimore keeps this one moving into the red zone.
And this might be the perfect time for Baltimore to start jamming it down their throats in terms of the run game. We talked about how they haven't ran the football all that much. They're now up to 19 carries between 3 running backs, so they're starting to get those guys involved, and this might be the perfect drive to do it, not only to shed clock, but to get that score and get their first lead of the game.
Pittsburgh are allowing the space for Baltimore to do that at the moment. But Wigmore will throw here on first down. Got a great block on the edge. That's caught for a first down there by Benji Matson. They're inside the 5.
And now because of that run game working, it's causing Pittsburgh to really set back a little bit and be a little bit more concerned about it, which is leading to open looks. And I think Wigmore's looking at the right guys right now. Irvin and Matson are the guys you want to look at to move down the field. Now 1st and goal coming up for Baltimore.
6.5 yards away from scoring range now, with an opportunity to reclaim the lead. Wells is going to get the carry. Got past one. Drags Montsuba into the end zone. GP Wells gets a touchdown on the ball, and Baltimore claims the lead for the first time today.
Yeah, and we've seen this all too often when he's been wearing a different uniform, especially with Houston. But GP Wells, despite being 5'9", he's got the strength of a guy who could be 7 feet tall, dragging a defender to the end zone. Baltimore getting the first lead of the game with 6.5 left in the 4th. Could you believe it?
It's a go-ahead touchdown for Grand Prix Wells, and Now the pressure is firmly on Pittsburgh, who had the control of this matchup. And just like that, the quality of this Vultures outfit has dragged them back into the contest here. And they now lead it with 6.5 left. Pittsburgh are going to find something here on offense. The kickoff's not going to be returned. And again, it's the ground game has been silenced in this second half, Brett.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. They need to get at least a little bit of that ground game going. Maybe go back to the Harrison swing passes. Maybe get those forward progression as well. But it might rely right all under center right now. Michael Brown needs to step up, show that that veteran presence from the youngster.
Brown drops back, throws. That's caught by Connor Weston for a gain of 17 there. And a great way to start the drive.
And this is something that Baltimore doesn't want to let happen. They don't want to get Weston started early on a drive, because if he gets going early, he's going to be looked at pretty often. And this is where those, acrobatic catches are going to come from Weston on drives. Is once he starts to get warm, that's when the highlight plays happen.
Now, fresh set it down. So Pittsburgh on the move straight away. Here. Drop back, short throw. There's that call,
no!
But it's picked up by Warfield on the fumble from Ben Harrison. You call that was the play they needed to look for. They draw it out, but it was forced by John Patrick Levine and picked up by Elijah Warfield.
And there's the separation between youth and experience. What a hit. That is a bone-jarring hit from John Patrick Levine. And there's that momentum swinger ultimately from Baltimore. And this is going to be challenged. I'm not sure if this is a good challenge, if I'm going to be honest here.
Well, it's a game-changing play, so if you're ever going to use a challenge, it'd be on something like this. And we'll have a retroactive look at this play brought to you by Retroid.
Ooh, that's going to be close. That's closer than I thought initially. It's all about if Harrison had 2 feet down, it looks like he might have jumped with his 1 foot, but I'm not sure.
Damon Simeon claims it wasn't a fumble.
Oh, they're calling it.
It is called a fumble, so that's unlucky for Gino McFly on the sideline there. Thought that was for sure a incomplete pass, but the referees disagree with him. And against one of those situations where you need to find some sort of evidence that it was a completely wrong decision, and that's one of those ones where you have to kind of err with the on-field call. So now Warren Murray breaks it to the outside. That's a pick up of 8. That's a generous spot. So bit of back and forth here with the spots on the last couple of possessions.
Yeah, and now it seems like now it's going to Baltimore's favor. But at the end of the day, we really have to focus on what Baltimore's going to do with these last just less than 6 minutes now. It's still a 3-point game. If they can get themselves a touchdown, that's 2 scores, and that might be too much for Pittsburgh after all this fight.
And off to the outside, GP Wells got past the line to gain there, and Commissioner Cameron Irvine has another game update. Brett, from your Vancouver Legion.
Thank you, Jacob. How about this play call? 3rd down and 6, Vancouver down 8. Shoveled Ike McBride, who breaks a tackle and scores, but Vancouver doesn't get the 2, and they can't get the stop. Minnesota wins 21-19. Back to you in Baltimore.
Full way for Vancouver to go down there on the other side of this block, and this one is hanging on a knife's edge at the moment as Cody Griffin gets that pass deflection there. Well, Brett, you asked for game updates. You got a game update, but commiserations nonetheless.
I'd like to crumple in a corner and just cry for the rest of the night. Though I have to call another game later on, so I just have to forget about it and move on. We got a 3-point game here.
Still plenty of excitement. That throw from Wigmore is an absolute dot to Ivory Irvin, and they're now inside the 5. This could be the straw that breaks the camel's back for Pittsburgh.
It's the quick slants that Baltimore has utilized so well in this 4th quarter. And it's going to get one of those guys open because Pittsburgh is setting off too far back. This is what they should have done, Baltimore, in this early stage, and now they're just, they're just kind of catching up.
Wells outside. Can he get free?
Come on.
Wells. That is a grown man carry right into the end zone. Second time he's done that today. And the Vultures are going to extend this one to 10 points.
That's not fair from GP Wells. He's just bullying this Pittsburgh defense and saying, I'm going to get to the end zone whether you like it or not. He does so while falling to the end zone. And there's that separation Baltimore wanted after getting the lead. Basically 2 scores in the matter of a minutes from this Vulture squad.
It's just very quickly fallen away from Pittsburgh, who again had the game by the scruff of its neck for quite a good period of time. Baltimore have now scored, as highlighted there, 17 unanswered points here in the second half. It's quite an impressive turnaround, and now there's got to be a little bit of urgency here from Pittsburgh as Devin Lloyd returns this one up past the 25. So that turnover proves very costly. Some discussion in the chat about whether or not there was a fumble, and that's one of those ones where if it were ruled an incomplete pass on field, you probably find that it sticks with the call on field, but it was ruled a turnover on field, and it's very hard to overturn those in that situation. And Pittsburgh now find themselves behind by 10 after they lead for the vast majority of this contest. Turned on a sixpence so quickly here for the River Hogs. Offset eye. Brown's going to throw. Caught by Weston.
Oh,
he's got
boy.
open field by
Oh, my
everyone.
goodness.
And this flag is going to determine whether or not it's a 75-yard touchdown for Connor Weston.
Baltimore went with the all blitz, so that's going to be roughing the passer, and that's going to stand.
Unbelievable. So this game just continues to go back and forth. It's never going to end.
Hey, and you know what? We don't mind that. We love never-ending football when it's exciting as this. And now the Riverhogs back in this when you think that Pittsburgh was out of it after Baltimore got the 10-point lead. Now it's just Pittsburgh needs a stop.
I had to make sure there that there wasn't a random hold there from one of the Pittsburgh linemen, but it's a 73-yard touchdown for Connor Weston, who again posts one of those just very casual 150-yard stat lines. He now has 166 in the contest. Remember, he was unsighted for a good 15, 16 minutes in that opening half. So he's essentially had 160-odd yards in just over two quarters of football here, as the return from Daly Holder to the 30 here. So Baltimore still have the lead, but it's now being cut down to 3.
I don't want to take away from Baltimore's time here, but let's talk about Connor Weston since August 4th. 114, 152, 123, 171, 144, 172, and 166 tonight.
Lauren Murray up the middle for 6 yards. Even though Pittsburgh have only had one win on the season, I feel very confident if you had an end-of-season award show like we have had with around the SFL in seasons gone, he's the signing of the offseason, without doubt. Just a player who has set the tone for this franchise and has made an immense impact. He's in Offensive Player of the Year discussions, obviously. One of the most impressive individual seasons for a player. Very Gabriel Manning-esque here from Connor Weston. That rush from GP Wells is going to get Baltimore a first down.
I think right now for Pittsburgh's defense, they need to get Baltimore to third down. We didn't see that on the last 2 drives. They never got into a third down situation. But if they can push Baltimore into third down, this gives them a chance. But Baltimore's doing everything right offensively.
Wigmore rolls out here. That's all tipped away. Adam Knowles nearly had an interception. Boy, Jack Wigmore's got to be careful with those. He falls harmlessly incomplete.
Fantastic coverage from the secondary, getting a defender behind and in front of Irvin. That was his target again. They're looking at old trusty Ivory Irvin on these plays. I wouldn't be too surprised on second down. They're looking at Chima, which they are going to push to further right of the field.
Too wide here for Wigmore. Drops back, got a good block around the edge. Mena brought the blitz.
Watch out, there's
Cody
space.
Riffin couldn't get to Mena. And now a run. He gets forward and they're going to give him the first down. Boy, Baltimore didn't have the spots at all in the first half. They've had 3 really questionable ones in the second half go their way. So the ledger is balancing here in this second half.
It's not just the second half. It's been this fourth quarter. That was easily a yard short. If I'm Pittsburgh, I would try to throw the challenge. I don't think they have an available challenge to use, so I don't think they can use it here. So that's a free first down for Baltimore.
Now in the Twins, they're up over halfway. Wigmore hands it off to Warren Murray. He will get forward and still just pushing this Pittsburgh defense in the other direction. Noel have to hang on to that one. And inside 2.5 now. They've got to try and get this stop in if they're going to get it. It's got to be in pretty quick time now because they are inching their way towards field goal range, but clock is now becoming a real factor. Offset eye, 2 tight ends up front. They're going to have to get this off before the 2-minute warning.
They got to bring the heat. If they do snap it, they
Pittsburgh
will.
have got to... No, they throw it here. Interesting play call. Throws it to Gaines. He got past Krieg. Meta had to chase him down, but not before he got the first down. T-Roy Gaines, another reception. And he gets the 6 yards required for a first down that takes us to the 2-minute warning.
Easy 3 words. T-Roy trains.
Boy, oh boy, can you mention he hasn't been called upon much this season, but when he is required, he delivers. And gets another huge play there. So Baltimore not quite in Shark Tarkington field goal range. They're 38 out, but Pittsburgh need to get a stop here pretty quickly. Hand off from the outside. Wells, that's what they need to bring the pressure up front. That's a no-gain play there on the outside from GP Wells, and that's the first timeout. In fact, it's the second, because remember, Pittsburgh lost one with that challenge, so I wonder if that's going to come into effect here late in the game.
Yeah, and if I'm from the booth here, I'm focusing on where Geno McFly is, and right now he's on the left side threatening blitz.
Another heavy set, heaps of tight ends. Pittsburgh have just got to bring full force here. Hand off at the middle. Warren Murray, not happening. Dropped at the line of scrimmage again. That's the last time out for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, this should be 3rd and 11, maybe 10.5 on this play, but this is excellent resolve from the Pittsburgh defense. They just need to stop them one more time because I think this is still outside Shark Tarkington's range, so I'm not sure if they can get even a field goal out of it.
Punch off to the right here. Hand off to Warren Murray, so they're going to get the stop. So this is going to leave Pittsburgh with enough time to potentially take this downfield. Now there should be Baltimore in Tarkington field goal range. No, they are not. It will be a punt from Matty Coffins. So that means that Pittsburgh only need a field goal, but Matty Coffins has got to keep this in the field of play and keep it nice and close to the corner here. That's the best case scenario. If this goes into the end zone, this is going to be a huge opportunity for Pittsburgh to go out and steal it.
But Matty Coffins is one of those elite punters out there. He can definitely coffin corner this baby.
It's going to bounce at the 10. The bounce has got to be good. It is. It's inside the 3. That's about as good as it could get.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything better. They're going to place it at the 5-yard line. So it's 95 yards to the end zone, and I would say roughly 65-70 for a good field goal opportunity.
Remember, they don't have a timeout to stop the clock here. They can get the field goal unit out there if they don't get it out of bounds in relative space here. So Michael Brown's just got a heat, but short drop back. That's thrown in. It's over the top of the intended target. Young Vaught nearly had another one.
Yeah, and then you don't want to overshow your hand if you're Pittsburgh. You know you're going to see a lot of looks from Weston, but I probably would have done it early on. I'd be looking at maybe Devin Lloyd on that first play instead.
There's no sugarcoating at Pittsburgh. Absolutely need a miracle here if they're going to steal this one late in the game. Brown drops back. That's tipped away. Couldn't get it through the first wave of contact there. Gio Bolt proving to be the veteran presence that he is. And this is going to be, they've got 2 more shots to get off of this 5-yard line here.
And they've got 5 players that are on their 9th season, all of them with Baltimore, and a lot of that is on that front 7. So they're really showing up on this drive.
Brown had to throw it outside. Weston, he stepped out of bounds. Thought he had a shot there to take that one downfield and get the first down. It's a 5-yard pickup on the game. He's going to swing here on this play. Ooh. And, okay, well, we're going to have a booth review. Have another retroactive look at a play. This time we're going to see whether or not Fix was spotted at the 10.
And they're gonna check whether or not Weston had enough time to turn things around in comparisons to the forward progression. That's the main thing. So they might push them back, and that might be pushed all the way to the 7-yard line, even if they want to reverse it. I'm not sure about the forward progression.
They're going to be moved backwards here. Pittsburgh. That was an interesting spot there initially. They corrected it, so now on a 4th and 9, so they got pushed back a whole 4 yards.
Oh, man.
That's tough for Pittsburgh. And so now it makes this last play here even more difficult. But they just need a first down and to get the offense in some motion here. But an incompletion or anything like that ends the game. Throws at the ankles, couldn't hang on to it. Devin Lloyd, that's unlucky. And it's going to be forced by John Patrick Levine. And Baltimore are going to take this one and get to a 7-win record.
Extremely unlucky from Devin Lloyd. Just one bump of the ball, or one bump of the shoulder from the Baltimore defender knocks the ball loose. And Baltimore, you have to say, squeaks out a victory against a very game Pittsburgh squad tonight.
Baltimore will go into the victory formation here. They will steal this one. Pittsburgh gave them as good of a shake as they possibly could, but they just couldn't hold on to the game for the entirety. They had the lead, and it's very hard to keep the lead against this unit for the entirety of a game. But I don't think anyone expected this to be close tonight, and for Pittsburgh to hold Baltimore within 3 is a sign of the growth that they are making behind the scenes. But Baltimore making a very strong playoff and even more so title push here in the final few weeks, as that's the final kneel to be taken by Jack Wigmore. And Baltimore are going to take this one here, 27 points to 24. It's a home win for the Vultures. They will take this one and move forward into the last couple of weeks of the season with a 7-win record, and that may well push them into the playoffs automatically here, depending on other results. Brett Solberg, your keys to the matchup.
And it was looking like Pittsburgh was just going to keep tight with Baltimore. Once it got to the 4th quarter, though, Baltimore just turned up the engines on both ends of the field. That the defense were getting important stops. The offense, that pass game was finally going. The rush game was finally going. We're talking about 50 fourth quarter yards on the run, but that run game was non-existent in the 3rd, and then they broke things open. A key fumble, getting it out of the hands of Ben Harrison, got him to that 10-point lead, and then Pittsburgh had to fight back, and fight back they did valiantly, but just a little bit too short. So Baltimore gets win number 7, and they gotta be breathing a sigh of relief after this contest.
It's a huge result for Baltimore in the context of their season. They are in that North Division with Canton, so they haven't quite clinched the division of yet. They have to go to the DC Dragons within the division next week to really cement their playoff spot, and they then get to, off the back of the bye week, travel to an old division rival in the Charleston Predators. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they get the bye next week and then get LA and Queen City, both of them back in Pittsburgh. So huge opportunity for Pittsburgh with 2 winnable games. 2 more games coming up later on. Canton at Nashville, Queen City at Louisiana. Make sure you stick around for those. But we say thank you for tuning into this one, and good night.